Hey, this is Danielle from Black Business Boom and Black Owned Nashville, and I am excited to have my guest Leigh Love with us today. We're going to be giving some tips for Instagram. Instagram is huge for business owners, and it can really skyrocket your business. So I'm really excited. Leigh has an amazing blog and has built an amazing following, especially on Instagram, her and the Blogger Exchange. So she's coming to us today. She's going to give us some tips on how we can boost our businesses on Instagram. If you're a business owner, if you're a content creator, a blogger, whatever you may be, you need to tune into this session. So if you're tuned in right now, make sure you tag somebody. If you're not a business owner, if you have a friend that's a business owner or content creator, whatever it might be, make sure you tag them, tell them to tune in now. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and bring Leigh on, and she is going to jump on in with these tips for you all. Hey, Leigh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I can't complain at all. I'm excited to get these tips. We know Instagram is like constantly changing. There's so much to keep up with. And for small business owners, it can be a struggle keeping up with even all of the changes or even just knowing from the get go, what do you do to get your following up, to get your engagement up on Instagram. And you do a great job of that. So super happy to be learning from you, for myself, and for all the business owners that are tuned in. So I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to let you take it away and drop us some tips on how to boost our IG.
All right. Well, first of all, if you do not have a marketing strategy, that's number one. Your
Mhm.
social media strategy is just a piece of your marketing strategy. So that is the first thing that you need to have in place. And then within your social media strategy, you basically need some components, which are what are my content pillars going to be, which is what are you going to talk about? Then I always ask people, what are you going to offer them? Which is it advice? Is it inspiration? Is it motivation? Is it education? Because people look to consume something and they want to learn something, or they want to be entertained, or they want to have some kind of emotional takeaway from it. So I always ask people, as a business, what are you offering through your Instagram content? Because sometimes if you're just selling, people don't want to be sold to. And that really turns people off, and that makes them not engage, makes them not follow, and then unfortunately it makes them not buy as well. The
Yep, they
other
go
thing,
scroll right on by. They're like, she
scroll,
always trying
scroll,
to sell us
scroll.
lip gloss. I'm sorry.
And everyone that's watching too, you probably do the same thing. I always tell people the way you use Instagram is probably very similar to the way other people use Instagram. So always think about what you like to see, what makes you click on something, and what makes you comment on something too.
Mhm.
The other thing that goes into it is a schedule. People just kind of are like, oh, I remember to post today, or I thought about it, let me post it this time. And it's like, no, you do have to have a set schedule that you post on, and your set schedule should be based on your analytics. So you really do need to have a business account and see when your audience is most engaged. A lot of people have audiences that are most engaged between 6 and 8 p.m. when they're off work. So if you're like, oh my God, I just woke up, I'm going to post at 6 a.m., no one's going to see your post at 6 a.m. You have to post when people are active on the platform, when they're likely to engage as well. That is extremely important.
Super
Go
important.
ahead. And yeah,
No, it's super important. And so the great thing is a lot of the scheduling tools now will kind of see what your analytics are and help you to determine that. So if you want to get a scheduler, which is a great thing to do, so you can batch your content and get it planned. But like, let the scheduler help you. But if not, look at your analytics, because like you said, I don't get up. I'm not up at all at 6 a.m. So I'm
right.
definitely not scrolling through Instagram, and I'm definitely not interested in commenting. Like, I'm
Yeah.
barely getting myself together. So,
And Instagram really has gotten better on the analytics they provide. I mean, they tell you your most engaged days, your most active days for your followers, as well as the time. Like, it gets pretty in depth. So, like, if you're just shooting blindly, you don't have to. That is by choice. You don't have to do that. I think the other thing, too, I always tell businesses is once again, going back to selling to people, it is a selling tool, but people don't want to be sold to. They really do want to have a conversation with brands, feel like they're being welcomed in, feel like they're being asked for their feedback, asked for their opinion. I look at a lot of captions and people literally are just talking at people, not having a conversation with them. And I'm like, and use some open-ended questions. Ask them how they like to make their coffee if you're selling coffee. Ask them what scents of candles you want them to have you do next. If you're selling clothes, ask them which one of these t-shirts do you like better, so they feel like they're part of the process. That's how you get your customers involved, and that's how you also get them really connected to the brand. So when they do see that new t-shirt or they do see that new candle scent, they're like, oh my God, I remember that. I helped them pick that, and now I'm going to go see how it smells and make that purchase from them.
That is a great idea. I love it. People, and I tell people all the time when I'm talking about social media, people love to tell you their opinions.
They
Like,
do.
we've been seeing people's opinions all week, haven't we? People couldn't wait to jump up and tell us how they felt about if they were on Will Smith's side or
Yes.
Chris Rock's side. Could not wait. People can't wait to tell you how they feel about something, what their opinion is about something. They don't want to just, they're not going to just see your post and engage and then immediately go to your website and buy something. You want to get them engaged and getting to know you even, but also, like I said, their opinion. We see it all the time in Black people making moves. They can't wait to tell
Oh,
us how they
we do.
feel.
And because they're going to share their opinion, but that's why you kind of want to control the narrative by asking the right questions that you really do need feedback on, and then kind of steering clear of the other questions that you don't want feedback on.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing too, and I think a lot of businesses struggle with this, but it is really creating engaging content. Instagram has changed. It used to be very photo first, and photos still do very well. But the thing is, high quality photos do very well. Once again, if you look at your behavior on Instagram, you're probably liking really bright, high res, high quality photos. You're not liking probably blurry, dull looking photos. And so you don't have to be a professional photographer. You can buy a cheap ring light. You can also rig some lights up in your house, shoot during the day when the sun is shining. All those things are easy things to make your photos more engaging, make them look a little bit more crisp as well. And then if you're like, man, it's still not looking like how I wanted to, just do a photo shoot. There's plenty of photographers in this group that have really good rates and would definitely work with people to do some product shots, and some really engaging product shots you can use in a variety of different ways.
For folks that are trying to build their brand, whether it be their personal brand or they're selling a product, how do they choose the right photographer? Because I think that it's important for you to have the right fit for what you're trying to accomplish. So give us some tips on finding the right photographer and even planning for a photo shoot to make sure that we have the best outcomes for our business and for our social media.
Awesome question, because I just helped someone with this yesterday. I always say it's the same as if you're hiring for anything else. You basically need to interview the person. As a blogger, I always ask people, have you worked with bloggers before? Because shooting with the blogger is very different than shooting with other types of people. And if they're not well versed in that, I usually won't work with them because it's just not going to be a good relationship. And so people do have portfolios. So ask to see their portfolio. Say, can I see similar other work that you've done for products, for headshots, for lifestyle photos, and look at the style that they have. And if you see the style is way different than what you want, that's probably not the person you want to work with. And if you want product shots and it's someone who's more like doing family portraits, probably not the best photographer to work with. So once again, ask to see their feed, their portfolio, and then obviously try to ask for references too. And just say, hey, can we have a 15-minute conversation before I book a session with you? And most people will say yes if you do that. And then if you do decide to move forward with the photographer, it's very important you have a shot list of what you want to do and say, here are the products we're going to shoot in order. Here are the outfits that I'm going to wear. Here's kind of some other photos that I saw for reference that I liked. I want to take some shots outside. I want to sit on the kitchen counter. I really love a professional desk photo. Can we make sure there's a desk in the studio? I really like when I have my arm on the chair. Can we make sure we get that in too? And I'm going to bring a business suit. So make sure you basically kind of talk about the outfits you're going to wear, the products that are going to be shot. Make sure the surfaces, the props that you need are going to be there as well. Because I promise you, your photographer will thank you. There's nothing worse that photographers hate when someone shows up to a shoot and they're just like, well, what do I do?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Like a box full of stuff, and the photographer's like, we'll see what we can do. You don't want that. You want to be organized, and I promise you the outcome will be so much better and smoother. You'll be less stressed, the photographer will be less stressed, and then when you see the photos, you're going to be like, yes, we talked about it, we had it organized, and I got what I wanted at the end.
I love it. That was very, very helpful because I just be showing up. I'm like, I got 5 outfits. Let's see what we can do. Like literally every time. So I'm going to do better going forward because of those tips. Also, how do we identify, or do you have any tips for us identifying the best places to shoot? I know that can be a struggle. Like, where's a good place? Where people ask all the time, I'm looking for a place to do this or for this look. How can we go about finding places, especially because a lot of photographers don't necessarily have studios now, and many people want to get like lifestyle type of pictures. So do you have any tips for us on how we can find some places to shoot?
Yeah, there are actually a lot of rentable spaces in Nashville. And there's even some hotels. This probably isn't going to come out the best way, but they rent by the hour for photo shoots. They don't rent by the hour for other stuff. But no, they do rent by the hour. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I can put them in the notes after this so people know. But yeah, there are lots of spaces that are pretty affordable. And then always, I will tell people the outside, Nashville is your friend. There are plenty of parks that bloggers utilize, plenty of industrial spaces that if it's a public space, it's free to shoot. And you can bring a change of clothes in the car. Trust me, there are hundreds of bloggers across Nashville that are doing that. Don't be afraid to do that. And then I also tell people as well, if you live in an apartment building, don't be afraid to utilize your apartment space too. A lot of them have rooftops that you can rent out for like 30, 45 minutes. They have like shared office space. You can get really creative on where you want to use, even if your apartment building has an outdoor patio space. And if you're trying to do like a food photo shoot or like a lifestyle photo shoot, you can use that as well. I tell people you're only as limited as you make yourself be. For me, the whole world is my backdrop. So I'm like, oh yes, we're going to shoot on them steps. We're going to shoot over there.
Well, that actually brings me to my last question, because a lot of times I think for me, and I'm asking, this is my personal question, like you'll go, you do the shoot, you have like, maybe 3 or 4 outfits. So you may have several shots, 10 good shots, but you're in like one outfit. Any tips for how you can mix up that content or repurpose it in a way that it's not like 5 days of me posting me in the same outfit, like, or is that acceptable? Like, I don't know, does it make sense to just go ahead and do the 5 days and the 5 hours and then switch to something else? Or should we be kind of mixing things up?
So first of all, if you are shooting headshots or like full body shots as a business owner, a content creator, a blogger, layers are your friend. Layers are your friend because you can wear a black jacket over a pink dress, and that's one shot. You can take off the black jacket, have the pink dress, and then you can hold the jacket, and that's a whole nother shot right there. So I've got one outfit on, 3 different shots looking different. You definitely don't want to post the same photo back to back. So you want to kind of space it out a little bit. But also remember, all your photos don't have to go on your feed. Some of them can go on your stories, and you can do a text overlay and use it that way. You can use it for like a poll feature. So remember, just because it's a photo doesn't mean it just has to be static on your feed. You can make it into a reel with some sound, make the images jump. You could do a story with text overlays. Like, there's different ways to leverage it. But once again, layers are your friend. And then also remember, the shot only looks the same if you're sitting in the same place. Because I can have on this same outfit here, go outside, it's going to look completely different because I have a different backdrop behind me. So remember, during your photo shoots, move around. Even if you're wearing the same outfit, move around, and that's how you get different shots and just make the content go further.
I learned some things today. This was great. And I'm gonna tell you all, Leigh is who I go to if I have questions about this. She really has mastered it. So if you need help, the Blogger Exchange is here to help you. Leigh, do you all have anything special coming up?
We do not. We do have some online classes, and then I'm always available for one-on-one coaching and consulting. I love, love, love helping people with social media. It is my love language. I'll probably give you too much help. So if that sounds like something you want, definitely let me know.
I love it. What's the best way for folks to reach out to you if they're interested in coaching or just learning more about how they can work with you?
So you can go to our website, which is www.bloggerexchange.com. There is no E at the beginning of exchange, or you can just email me, leigh@bloggerexchange.com. And we're also on IG, Facebook, pretty much all over the internet. You can reach us somehow.
I love it. This was extremely helpful. Thank you so much. And you all have the information. Again, Blogger Exchange with no E.com. Reach out to Leigh there, and will gladly work with you. And again, this is somebody else that I vouch for, and I don't be vouching for folks a lot, but I vouch for Leigh. She's helped me tremendously and challenged me to get think outside the box and get outside of my comfort zone. So,
which you have, and I'm proud of you.
I'm trying. I'm working. I'm going to keep on. Next year is my year. I'm on it next year.
Well, let's say next quarter is going to be your quarter.
Okay.